Welcome back to season 2 of Authentically Peculiar with Marcia. I am your host, Marcia Blaine, a licensed professional counselor, a clinical hypnotherapist, an author, motivator, and life coach. Join us during this season as we begin to normalize freedom. Authentically Peculiar with Marcia. Welcome back to Authentically Peculiar with Marcia. My guest tonight is Belize Spivey. Y'all listen. First of all, let me say this because I'm going to put the devil on blast. We started this over because we were actually engaged in the conversation. There was no reason for my Wi-Fi to jump off, no sound or whatever. But we back and we doing this and we get ready to make it happen because I can promise you that the information that's going to pour out tonight is going to change some people's lives. It's going to actually, I believe, free them from the bondage of the diagnosis so that they could live. So let me jump back into this bio. Belize Spivey is known as the STD life coach. She has helped millions of men and women living with herpes simplex virus. She offers them extensive education, psychological support, practical steps to help them overcome the stigma and natural outbreak products under her care line, Vanish Care. In 2015, August 2015, she started STD life coaching on social media after living with genital herpes simplex for over 5 years. And we're gonna go back to your beginning story. Ms. Spivey's goal was to help individuals living with the virus see that they are not alone and become more educated about their status. Ms. Spivey wrote a book called Overcoming What Can't Be Cured, Living Beyond Herpes, to share her personal story as well. The business has grown into a feature in Essence magazine, 2.5 thousand private online support groups for women, the largest YouTube channel, hundreds of one-on-one sessions, an annual event, and the first Black-owned six-figure herpes product line, Vanquish Care. With Vanquish Care, she actually launched it in September of 2019 after hearing the need in the herpes community for instant relief from herpes outbreak symptoms. Ms. Spivey had shared her product recipes with many in the community, received impactful feedback, which allowed her to become the first on her Black-owned herpes product line. Ms. Spivey has grown Vanquish Care to a six-figure business. I'm claiming millions in 2 years. Vanquish Care is making a huge impact in the herpes community. Give it up for Miss Belize Spivey. Thank you for your yes. Thank you. As I share with you, Courtney Brame, as well as some others, really said, you got to talk to her. You got to talk to her. And I'm so grateful that your yes allowed you to be available and be able to say, I'm here. I know we previously talked about your beginning, but can you run back through the year that you was diagnosed and what was going on at that time?
Yes. So it was April 2009. I was a sophomore at Auburn University. So I had just transferred there from Tuskegee University. So I was a new student. I was all new, just trying to get adjusted. And I ended up finding my diagnosis out my second semester in.
And how did that impact or change your life in that moment? I can only imagine, freshman, sophomore student running life and then boom.
I was shattered. Yeah. I'm a Black girl at a white school. Like, let's get real. I already have a culture shock. I went from an all Black school to an all white school. Dang it. I was already in a culture shock, even though I know I needed it. It still was already dealing with that. I left all my friends, so I'm at the school by myself. So I was just getting my footing, truthfully. I was like, oh, second semester, I'm getting involved. I'm making friends. Okay, I can do this. Just had met somebody on campus. So, I'm meeting this guy here, transfer too. So I'm like, okay, we have some understanding, things are going to work. Let's see how this goes. And it just literally halted me. I was halted. Completely halted. For me, it was me being active with the guy that I was with at the time, and literally having an outbreak the next morning. No, herpes don't work like that, but that's my story. Literally,
that's how your body responded.
Yeah, my body literally, we had sex, we used the condom. We don't use condoms before oral, but we use condoms for penetration. And literally the next morning, I'm thinking, okay, just a little friction, just a little irritation. Normal. Most ladies, we know about that. We don't talk about it, but we know about it. Okay.
Right.
So I didn't think nothing of it. I was like, okay, I'm about to go to my dorm. I'll be fine. I get to the room. I was like, no, something ain't right. I was like, and all ladies, I'll say that to anybody, men and women, when something's off. And I was like, something's off. I don't know what it is. So I did what my mama always tell me, look. Grab the mirror and look. Now, my mama always made me go somewhere with a mirror. She's like, take a mirror with you and just look at it. And I looked and I was like, oh my God.
Stop right there for a second. Because I stop right there for a second because people, period, need to hear that message. Yeah. You gotta stop being afraid and looking at your stuff. How you
it's yours
when it's gonna change?
I'm
glad your mother told you that. So I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I figured that we need to put a PSA out there. Look at your stuff.
Please do, because the only way to advocate is for you to know what it looks like. When you go to the doctor's office, the doctors look at different parts all day long. They don't know the difference with yours and somebody else. If the skin is discolored, if it's something that had never been there. So it's very important that for you to advocate for yourself, what it looks like. I know based off people's belief systems or how they were raised, they say you're not to look at it. But please, for you to advocate for yourself if something goes wrong, you need to look at it. Nobody told you to play with it. We told you to look at it.
Say that. Exactly, because one of the things that I've always said is if you don't know what your body feels like or looks like, how are you going to know when there's a change? Because if this was talking about breast cancer, they tell you, hey, did you notice that there are some dimples in your breast? Well, if you never look at your breast, how would you know?
Yep, if you're never feeling like you should.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
you have to advocate for yourself.
Once you went in the doctor, you got the diagnosis, the devastation hit. How long was the process for you to really begin to identify this is what's happening and I got to figure out something else?
I had to get up fast. The reason I had to get up fast because who gonna pay for school? These student moms don't care. But life literally forced me to get up. Okay. I had to kind of suppress a lot of my emotions and feelings in the beginning because I was in the middle of my semester and I was like, I just got here. I can't flunk out. I have to do what I need to do. Okay. So in the beginning, I just had to just kind of push it to the back and say, you're dealing with it, but don't deal with it yet. At that time, I did have very supportive friends. So I called all my girlfriends. I'm like, hey, this is what's going on. At the given time, my friend at the time, she was in nursing school. So before I even went to the doctor, she diagnosed me.
Wow.
So she was like, girl, let me flip my book. I think I know what it is. Okay. Let's be honest, y'all. That's what they do at the doctors too. They be trying to flip their books. Pretty much. They don't know everything, y'all. So she was like, based off what I'm hearing, this is what it sounds like. So she kind of helped me with the mental and things like that. All my friends were like, this is not the end of the world, Belize. And I'm like, as much as I felt like it was the end of the world, to hear them say that was just like, okay, they believe it's not the end of the world. If my friends believe it's not the end of the world and they don't have it, then it's not. I don't know how to do this. But if they say it's not the end, I'm going to have to figure out what they mean is not the end. And I know some people don't think like that, but for me, I had that much confidence in my friends and the people I had in my life that if they say it's not the end of the world and saying that I can get through this, I can. So that's kind of what I stood on until I got to a place where I was like, okay, I'm going to finally sit down and do my education. I didn't do it right away. I had to wait till kind of the semester was over, kind of sit still. And that's like, okay, now let me look up everything. And that's when I started looking online. And I'm not gonna lie, 2009, we did not have Google, y'all. I know y'all don't feel like we never had Google, but Google did not exist, okay? Nope. We still had Black Planet. That's how old it was. I'm not even
in the library. In the library.
It's the truth. We were still looking stuff up, Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in that place where we were just really Yahoo at that time and AOL. So information was very limited.
Mm-hmm.
Very limited. So I only can only do so much. And the first thing I did look for was just like natural remedies. I didn't have no money. And I was like, I'm not using my mama's insurance. She's going to figure that out, which y'all got to remember, they can't tell your parents nothing. I didn't know no better. But but I still didn't have the money. So I had to find natural things that I can do at home to help me right away. And then after that, I looked into a support group, which is like supportgroups.org, which is huge now. But I joined, it was like 10,000 people in the group. And I was like, okay, I see all these people. If they can go through it, I can go through it. And people just educate. And I just sat there and I just read until I couldn't read no more. And I was like, okay, it's not that bad. It's not as bad as I think it is. And I'll say that to anybody. Your diagnosis is as bad as your lack of education.
Ooh. Say that one more time.
So your diagnosis is as bad as your lack of education. And use that for any diagnosis. We know people who had cancer, they tell you it ain't really as bad as it seems. When you get educated, you're like, I can fight it. You know women who have breast cancer, they tell you, say, you can fight it. As soon as you get diagnosis, you can fight it. So my whole thing is, in the beginning, you're going to feel like your life is over. You're going to feel devastated because you're not educated. Woo.
Right.
You're going to feel devastated because you're not educated.
That word going to preach. And it's going to hit somebody at home. You have to become educated. You can't be afraid of the diagnosis, and you certainly can't be afraid to educate yourself. And I know that's one of the things that you do so well is you educate others and help them learn how to live with this diagnosis. What are some of the things that you say to someone that comes to you and is pretty much in a panic about the diagnosis?
I like those the most because I've been there. And I said, me too. It's normal. It's nothing wrong with you for panicking. It's nothing wrong to feel devastated. It's nothing wrong to feel any of that. Anybody feel that. Anybody who dealt with anything is going to feel those exact same feelings.
Exactly.
So I validate them and let them know you're not crazy for feeling any of it. I don't want you to feel like you're crazy for feeling like, what is my future going to look like? Because you don't know, so you're concerned. You're concerned about your future at the current, like your current present. What's going to happen with my husband? What's going to happen with my kids? If you work in a certain profession, is this going to affect my profession? You want to know how it's going to affect your livelihood. It's nothing wrong with that. So that's the first thing I always tell them. It's okay. Wow. You're not by yourself. And I feel like that's what most people need because they don't have anybody who understands the diagnosis. And most of the time, I help you with your emotions first before I help you with your education.
Oh, I love that. Because basically what I'm hearing you say is it's a grieving process.
It is.
Yeah. And because you're grieving what was a norm for a moment and what you don't know is happening in the future. Because, people are afraid. I know a couple of my clients is diagnosed with it. Two of the things they battle with is rejection after they share with someone that they've gotten to know and fear of never becoming parents. Can you talk a little bit about those two things?
Absolutely. Those are the two things that, like, soon as you get your diagnosis, I'm never going to get married. I'm never going to have kids. And I tell you, both are possible because I did both of them. Okay? Just to kill it, I did both. Okay? And I did both fairly fast after that. I ended up getting pregnant with my son literally in July of the same year I ended up finding my diagnosis out. Okay? So yes, you can have kids.
Oh, wow.
Okay? I have two to be exact. Had both of my kids after, had both of them vaginally. Okay? So you can do that. It's very possible. Okay? But the biggest thing is for you, number one, realize that you can. Most people are reading online. It's like, you can't. Ask a professional, y'all. I'll say that. Don't run to Google all the time. Ask a professional. And if you get to a professional and they make you feel uneasy, that may not be the professional you need because you shouldn't feel uneasy with the person that you have your life and your future children's lives at hand. You want to feel comfortable. You want to make sure you're getting the proper education. All right. So make sure you feel comfortable with talking to them about your diagnosis. I'm telling you, they'll say it ain't no big deal. You fine. We'll give you some medicine in 36 weeks and we'll let you take that to try to prevent you from having an outbreak. And then if you do have an outbreak, you got to get a cesarean. Okay. Remember, the baby's not going to get it because it's in the womb. A lot of people think of that of like gonorrhea, chlamydia, syphilis, HIV. They take those things in consideration because your baby can get it if you don't get the full treatment with those other STIs. Okay. So just think about that. It doesn't work the same way. The baby has to come in contact with it, which is coming through the womb, coming through the birth canal to get it. Okay. And the doctors, look, I'm telling you, they be all up in there fishing. Everybody on who's on your chart, they look, and they also talk to you. Hey, do you feel comfortable with everybody in the room knowing? So they shouldn't come in and blurt it out. They say, hey, we want to talk to you privately, and they're going to ask you, hey, are you having any lesions, any discomfort, anything? Next shift, if you're still there, they're going to ask you the exact same thing. And be honest, let them know. I know many people don't want to get a cesarean, but I prefer you to schedule a cesarean and have peace of mind than scared that your baby came through and could have contracted, because it can be very deadly to an infant. The baby can't handle it. Okay. So I would just say, be safe. If you're feeling something, say something. Okay. If you feel something, say something, and just go ahead and get the cesarean. Relationship wise, listen, y'all. If they want you, they want you. Okay. I'm going to keep it very real with you. If they want you, they want you. We all accept something from somebody. We all have something. Okay. Some people accept somebody who's struggling with finding a career. We have some people who struggle with debt. We have people who got mommy and daddy issues. We got people who got multiple children, and some people who can't have children. You have to understand that a person's going to accept what they want to accept. But they're going to accept that based off the value they see in you and also what you can bring to their lives. Okay. If they choose that this is the reason why they don't want to abuse you, it's okay. Do it hurt? Absolutely. What we not going to do is act like it don't hurt your feelings. Nobody likes rejection.
But rejection hurts whether you diagnose or not.
It hurts. And I think that's the thing. And I think that's the thing. The fact that, and I could say, speaking for women, rejection, we hate it. We, as women, we take it personal. We know we think it's about our confidence. We think we allow it to affect our self-esteem. As women, I say we have to understand rejection is not personal.
Right.
It's not personal. It don't change that he wanted to be with you yesterday. It's not changed that he just told you he will marry you yesterday. She's like, but he won't, because he made a choice that was best for him. And I always tell my clients, remember, the choice is for themselves. It's not for you.
Or about you.
They made a choice for themselves.
Exactly. I shared that with a client. I said, listen, you're free to share with someone that you're planning to become engaged with, at your own choice. They still have a right to say yes or no. It's not personal. Don't take it as they're rejecting you. They may not even understand the education behind your diagnosis. And so quite naturally, that's a fear, right? But that's the reason why we're doing this. So people are educated to understand. So I would like to shift a little bit and talk about symptoms, recognizing what's going on with your body, and even breakouts, because when I did the podcast with Courtney and with golly, I can't even remember her name now, with the doctor. One of the things she talked about is some people may have one breakout in their life and never again. Other people may have breakouts because of, high levels of stress, their body chemistry, things of that nature. Can you elaborate on that a little bit for us?
Absolutely. So it's certain things that cause an outbreak. So number one is stress. So psychological distress. And I say psychological distress because that can come with the fact that you was born, you into trauma that caused it. Now you're, now you have trauma, grieving, remember that psychological distress, everything that happened with COVID that takes a toll, also stressing your body. So, dehydration, fatigue, you're not getting enough sleep because you're working really hard. You're working towards your goal. Your job is just really stressful. Your kids is really busy, things like that. So I tell people, be mindful of your stress level. Number one, herpes won't kill you, but stress will. I tell my clients that all the time. I said to be mindful. Overall, if you get an outbreak during your stress, it's letting you know that you're doing too much. Okay. Your body is taking a toll. It's just a reminder. We don't want no reminders. Okay, we don't want to remind you. So stress is number one. The next one is arginine. Arginine is in certain foods. So that can be in chocolate, that can be in coffee, that can be in different type, it could be in all types of nuts. Wow. Some food like sugary foods, junk foods, things like that. So you want to be mindful of that. I tell people, do not cut these things out. I do not want you to stop eating it because you're scared to get an outbreak. You may not, it may not affect you at all, but it's things to be mindful to say if you're having an outbreak and you start eating some peanuts, and you're like, ooh, it's starting to rub up more. I'm itching more. That means don't eat it during the time of an outbreak, okay? Or it can be the reason why you're having it. The next thing is friction. We know friction is nobody's friend. Breaking of the skin, it's just irritating the skin. So even when you're having sex with your partner, make sure if you're feeling discomfort, ladies, I'm talking to us because men may think you are prepared and you're not, okay? You're warm all the time, okay, ladies? To them, you're warm all the time. Right. You may not be warm to you. So please let him know, hey, I feel friction, I feel discomfort. Even certain sexual positions can put you in a position to have more friction. Please let your partner know and just add lube, okay? All right. Use proper lube for your condoms, okay? Or even change the condom. Sometimes the condom lube it just don't work with your body, all right?
And it could be the chemistry, the chemicals in a particular brand of condom.
Yes, B condoms are the best condoms. Black owned. Hands down.
Which ones again?
B condoms.
And where can they get B condoms?
Walmart, Target.
Okay.
Walmart, Target. I think it's across the states now. If not, you can go to his website or you can go to his Instagram. But if you're in Atlanta, it's all over in Atlanta. Really nice guy. I'm telling you, the best condoms I ever had in my life. And I ain't listening. Ladies, they some good condoms, okay?
Have to find him and bring him on.
I can connect you to Jason.
We need to know.
I can connect you to him. I'll make sure sure you get connected. He's a really good guy. So also that, being mindful and making sure you add a lube. Also, another one is hormone imbalance, ladies. So when your menstrual cycle come on, it can come before your menstrual or after, or if you're dealing with PCOS or other things, take that into consideration. If you have other immune diseases like sickle cell or what's the other one? I'm thinking at the top of my head, lupus, okay?
Lupus.
Make sure you take those things, and I say those two because that's who we fall with us as African Americans. Those things affect your immune system. If your immune system is low, it can cause you to have outbreaks, okay? So this is around this time, most people end up starting having outbreaks because we're going into the winter. So you make sure you're eating your vegetables. And when I say eating your vegetables, green vegetables. I ain't talking about just corn and peas, or carrots. No, I'm talking about spinach, kales, greeny, because it's going to keep your immune system up and running. Also drink water, but also just keep your immune system up and get the rest that you need, y'all. Get the rest you need. But those are the main things. I think the last thing is the sun. If you get oral, just too much exposure to the sun just irritates the skin. So it's just things like that you learn over time. What causes your outbreaks and whatnot. Everybody's so different.
And can you talk a little bit about the transmission of HSV orally? Because a lot of people don't think that you can get STDs with oral sex, and you can.
That's old school. That's real old school. That's a safe route. That's why dudes talk about put your mouth on it all the time because they thinking they can't get anything. And that's not true, y'all. The mouth is so sensitive. We get cuts in our mouths so easily. We got to remember, all of this is so thin. It's so thin. So my whole thing is the same way that our vagina is thin and your penis skin is thin. It's the same way it is inside the mouth. The same way you can easily get down there is the same way you get it here. So my whole thing is I want you guys to understand just because you're having oral sex doesn't mean you're safe. Okay. Right. Honestly, you can get in your mouth. And my whole thing is the same way that you can get oral. You can get herpes. Most people see cold sores. They call it cold sores or fever blisters. It's herpes, y'all. Many people got that. They didn't get it from oral. They could have got it from sharing a cup with a kid, somebody sharing utensils, things like that, sharing lip gloss, Carmax, stuff with other people and don't even know they have it. That person have an outbreak. They sharing a drink, sharing a cup, give it to the next person, they can get it. It's not always guaranteed, but that's typically some ways that people they got it, or they got it from a parent, grandparent, things like that, and they didn't know. And now you're kissing on your partner before or on your partner, you don't even know. You're like, he looking like, oh, she get those all the time. Ain't no big deal. And not knowing you can pass it. So I do want you guys to be mindful. Just because you may get a cold sore once in a while, you can pass it to another individual. Okay? You can pass it to another individual. So please be mindful of that.
Now, one of the things, if you don't mind talking about it, and I got educated on this process because in my head, we should be able to go and say, hey, just run a whole STD panel on me. But that is not how you are diagnosed with herpes. Can you talk about that?
Okay, so my whole thing is the standard STD panel is gonorrhea, chlamydia, HIV, Hep C, and syphilis. Okay, that's the typical, but it varies doctor's office. So what I would tell you is to call your doctor's office, especially ladies or guys, when you're going to get anyone, say, hey, what is the standard STD panel right now? Because they change it. Let me give y'all a little background. They change it because of the numbers that's happening at the time. So at the time, I'm in Atlanta, I'm in Georgia. Oh, I'm getting an HIV test for anything. I don't care if I'm going in for a headache. Baby, they giving you an HIV test, okay? They don't. I don't even think they give you full consent no more. You just go get an HIV test, okay?
It's almost like the consent, because I'm in Jonesboro, but the consent is like on file. We ain't even asking you. Just do a panel.
Girl, what kind of meet? You know you was here.
Yeah, I live in Hampton, but my office is in Jonesboro, so we got to come together. We gonna come together.
Yeah, I'm coming to see you. I'm gonna have to stop by your office. I'm gonna have to stop by your office. Hey, look at that.
We could have did this in person. No.
I know, right? Even better. We could probably do something in person. The biggest thing is to, girl, you got me lost. I don't got lost. Yeah. So you want to ask what's on the panel. Like I said, the background is that they typically change it. It's typical, always going to be HIV, gonorrhea, chlamydia. Okay, those are typical. Some doctor's office may test you for trichomoniasis. Some may do Hep C. Some may do syphilis. Some may do herpes. That's depending on what their numbers look like in their county. So you want to ask, hey, what do y'all test for this year? Or when you go in, hey, what are y'all testing for? And they're like, oh yeah, we just added herpes, or we just added Hep C, or we just added syphilis. That means the numbers are increasing and you need to be mindful.
Wow. You know, one of the things, I'm 55, and one of the things I've been sharing with women in my age group and older, you still have to be very mindful and careful, because women in my age group are being diagnosed a lot faster with different types of STDs. And so we're not saying don't engage in sex. We're saying be mindful of yourself and your partner. Ask questions.
Please.
How difficult is it to ask the questions?
I think it's difficult, period, especially in our community, because we're not taught how to do that.
Right.
We're not taught how to have that different conversation with the individual. And also, most people are going to say, why would you ask me that? Why would you assume? They're going to deflect because they're just nervous about it, and they're scared, other than saying, you know what? Nobody ever asked me that. I have had men tell me, a woman never asked me if I ever been tested before. I never have a woman tell me that she had an STI before. I never had that happen. And I just gained respect out of the fact that if you got enough respect to tell me that, if you have enough respect to care enough about me and my health, I can be with you. Because at the end of the day, you care enough.
Period.
So my whole thing, and that's not a guarantee, ladies. Please don't go out here thinking that's guaranteed, because it's not. But at the end of the day, he's going to have a certain respect to say, okay, she's different from another than another, you know. But you want to ask them that question. So most importantly, ask your doctor's office if they test you for it. If they do not, say, hey, I want to get tested for herpes, you're going to get a little pushback. If you get a little pushback, say, hey, why do you want to get tested? It's because I've never been tested. I've never been tested. I have been sexually active for some time. And you got to tell them all your years, but you've been sexually active for some time, and I've never been tested. I'm sure I possibly could have been exposed unaware. I'm aware that it's not required for people to disclose. And I say that because many doctor's offices will tell people, you don't have to tell anyone. I don't know why they do that, but they tell people it's no big deal. You don't have to tell anybody. Everybody has herpes. If everybody have herpes, why was I devastated? Okay, that's what I know. If everybody has it, why am I
for me, I just think, exactly. I just think that there's a level of responsibility and accountability. And you have to think about, I have one client that I shared with her. I said, listen, I know you've been running through partners like a train and you don't want to tell them because you don't want to feel their rejection, but you need to go and know what's happening with your body.
Yes.
You need to, because she's angry that the person that she got it from knew and didn't tell her. So it's like this tit for tat. And I was like, baby, listen, even though it's not like HIV, you still, the same way you felt when you didn't know, give people an opportunity to say, yes, I'm still with you.
And she can still get the same consequences. That's something else I do want people to know, is that if you was aware of your status and you did not tell your partner your status, they have the ability to sue you. Okay.
That I didn't know. I knew that
it's a
HIV
real thing.
and AIDS. Wow.
Yeah, HIV and AIDS for sure, just because it can cause a person to die. But for herpes, it would be called negligence, because you're just not telling. And I like to share that with people because it's not to scare you, it's for you to realize a person has the right to say you knew but you didn't tell me.
Right.
Okay. Just because, and I'll say this, just because your doctor told you not to tell, what does your morals say?
Exactly.
Go off your
morals. That's going to change
not
lot
just
of
a doctor's
lives. Yeah.
Listen, please, y'all. And I say that because so many people are like, well, my doctor told me that. But I said, what is your morals? What did you feel? You just knew it wasn't right. If you don't feel right about it, then you don't do that. Because at the end of the day, you got to live with the consequences. Your doctor is not going to get sued. You will. Now, you'll have to go sue your doctor for telling that. But at the end of the day, you'll be the person who have to deal with the consequences. Or even if it's not suing, somebody want to harm you. And I tell y'all, in the time that we live in, do not play with people.
Listen,
people, and I'm just saying, not even physically. People will expose you. They want to expose online. People are now doing that. And my whole thing, some people will still do that just because they feel some type of way. But I prefer you tell that person, hey, this is what I'm dealing with before you get sexually active with them. Even kissing, y'all, because people are just so uneducated that they don't know. They don't think you gave it to them through a kiss, and that's not the case. You don't even get outbreaks right there, but they don't know that. So give them a chance to choose all the way around without any anxiety on what they want to do. Okay, give them the choice so you don't have to deal with that person feeling like they have to protect themselves because you didn't you didn't give them an opportunity to protect themselves the way they wanted to, or y'all try to do that together. I feel like the best thing to do is to give each other a choice and move and do it together. It feels better to do it together than you trying to do it without them, because now you're trying to, am I having an outbreak? And now you got to lie and say, baby, I don't feel good. And, I'll darken their phone calls and say, no, my mama asked me to come to the house. And, now your sex life all over the place because your partner's like, okay, are you interested into me now? Because we were just having sex every day to not having sex at all. Now you got your partner feeling uneasy because you choose not to share information. I don't want anybody to go through that. Just have the conversation, give them a choice, and you will see what happened. That person choose to walk away, that's fine. Go back outside. Okay, go on back out there and give it another shot. Because at the end of the day, people with STIs and without are having a hard time dating. You ain't the only one. Okay.
Listen, you're not the only one, and we don't have a resolution on changing dating life for anybody. I don't care what age group you're in. It's just difficult for anybody. And so
I'm learning that.
Don't come to us for a solution on that because we don't know. But just know that, like Belize said, get back out. Just because that didn't work out, that just means it wasn't for you. Don't let that stop you from going out there. If your heart's desire is to be in a healthy, loving relationship with a partner that understands and accepts you, keep that on your forefront. That's your mind. That's where you are. Manifest that thing.
And the manifesting requires go out. And I would say this so much, ladies, and this is something I learned from my men in the community and just men in general. Men learn to shake it off quicker than us. I feel like we used to hear Steve Harvey said, think like a man, but act like a woman. Like, he was right. You have to learn how to shake it off quicker, because at the end of the day, it's not even about that person. It's about the goal. The goal is to find someone. The goal is not every person you find. Okay. The goal is to find that ultimate person.
Woo. Yes.
You know, and we have to tell ourselves that. And I learned that, especially as Black women, we're all taught so different on what dating look like. Some taught one way, another, but now social media is trying to teach us all at the same time, which is like kind of messing a lot of our heads up, because it's like, but I wasn't taught like that. But if you look at your life and realize it didn't work, now you're trying to shift to see what works for you. But most important, whatever you're trying to do, you got to remember the ultimate goal is to find that person, not situations or each person you find. That one person, you know your standards, you know what you looking for, you know what you're expecting. Just keep going out there and also enjoy your dating experiences. You learn something new from every person. A person that teach you something new about yourself. You're like, you know what? I didn't even know I liked that. Thank you. And walk on.
Period.
Walk off.
Period.
My whole thing is you're learning something new. Enjoy it, y'all. Absolutely. Don't make it so uptight. Enjoy dating, enjoy meeting new humans, people that you probably will never meet before, probably will never see again, but you're going to learn something from every person that you meet. You learn something about yourself.
Absolutely. So let's jump into Vanquish Care. Tell us, did you bring some products so that you can show us?
Let me see what I got over here. Hold on. Okay. They be wiping me clean, so hold on. Let me see what I have available for y'all. 1 second. I wish I had grabbed it prior. They don't wipe me out, baby. Look at my inventory.
But that's a good thing. That just means that people are keeping the tools that they need to assist and having the best life experiences they can. So let them wipe you out. I'm declaring you a multimillionaire, so it don't even matter.
Listen, done, and doneer. Okay, it's already done. So this is the wash out soap. So the wash out soap helps with itching, burning, discomfort, but most importantly, allow you to wash yourself. Most people, when they get their genital outbreaks, it hurts. Like it hurts to urinate, it hurts even to the touch, it hurts to sit. And most people are like, how am I gonna clean myself? I'm trying to be clean. Even though I don't feel clean at this point, but how can I feel clean, but also don't cause it to go longer or even irritate it more? So this soap will help get you that discomfort. I mean, to remove the discomfort, but also make sure you're clean. You feel good, you feel better, and it smells amazing. I use this soap all over my body. I don't use nothing else. Okay.
Nice.
You can use it also for jock itch for my guys, yeast infections, bacteria, vaginosis, things like that. Other things that you know, ladies, if you're struggling with an odor every once in a while, this soap will knock it.
And ladies, stop lying to yourself. All of us at some point have an odor because we sitting with panties on, pants on, we can't breathe. It's gonna have a little odor. Don't get offended if dudes say, babe, go take a shower before we get intimate. It ain't personal. We're closed in, but tell him take a shower too, because he closed in.
Listen.
Get you some washout soap. I'm just saying.
Listen, and you can use it for men and women. Y'all will be surprised. The backstory, a Black man created this product. This soap, he said, I need something. He said, I need a soap. Do you create soaps? At that time, me and my mom was making soaps for ourselves. We was switching over from, you know, all those other products to now, let's just make everything. And I was like, absolutely, let me create some. I said, boop, 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 boop. I said, try it. He said, okay, I like it. It's just not as soapy. And I changed it a little bit to make it a little bit soapier. Boom.
Nice.
So, hey, so we have that one. Then we have the speed up cream. This is my baby. This was my first product.
Okay.
This product, you slather it on, it speeds it up. When I say instant, itching, burning, discomfort, bumps, blisters, like that.
Wow.
Like that. Okay. So I'll open it up so y'all can see it. So it's like a cream. It got a coconut base. So smell amazing. All the stuff smells good, but this is the bomb. If you have eczema, if you have psoriasis, any skin conditions.
I was going to ask you about if that works for eczema. Okay.
The truth. Because I have psoriasis on the side of my foot. Baby, it gets the job done. Really good products, okay? Next thing is the Itch Be Gone spray, which comes in the bundle, which I have a bundle. We have a smaller one. Itch Be Gone spray. If it itch, you spray it, it's gone. I'm not lying. Like, these names are exactly, they do what they say they're going to do. So if you're dealing with the itching, which is the most irritating thing, is the unbearable itching that you get from a yeast infection, bacterial vaginosis, gonorrhea, chlamydia, all of them, they itch really, really jock itch, bacterial vaginosis, trichomoniasis, all of it, itch, spray, it'll stop itching.
Nice.
You can use it on your hair. I had ladies who hair braids, they spray it in their hair. People who live, you know, in Florida, they like, I get bit by bugs. You can use it for so many things. You know, we ain't got skin so soft like we had, you know, back in the day. It's gone.
Right. That's
the good skin so soft. So that is that. And then we have a bundle, a smaller bundle. It is a smaller spray that goes here too. So my whole thing, I always tell people, and I have a lip balm. I left the lip balm over there. So I also have a lip balm as well. So if you have type 1, you can put it on your lips, which I tell you, this is the best time to get it now. Prep yourself for the winter. It's gonna be cold.
It's gonna be cold.
And if you are in a cold area,
when you're cold and you don't hydrate, that just makes it worse.
It does.
Gotta drink some water. Don't think drinking coffee and tea and soda is the only thing. You gotta actually feed your body water so you can get rid of those toxins. You know, I'm super excited. I'm gonna order for certain the eczema cream because my grandbaby got eczema real bad. So I'm gonna be going online.
It. Your baby gonna rub it in. They're gonna be all shiny. And he was like, "Oh, grandma, that feel okay. I'm not itchy." And it'll also help with that darkness that most babies start to get. It start to change their pigment. It'll help with that. And then the baby can just put their hand in and get it themselves. And I think it makes it even better for little kids where they can feel like they can take care of themselves and they don't have to go to you. Like, grandma, it was itching. I put some stuff on it. I feel better.
Exactly. And where can you go? What's the web address for Vanish Care?
Okay, it's www.vanquishcare.com. We made it simple. Vanquishcare.com. Nice. Everything's on the front page. You order and it's shipped out. It takes about 5 to 14 days. Typically, it gets to you a little bit faster than that. But you know, I can't control the post office. Okay, I can't control the post office. But I'm telling you, it's gonna get to you. You get your tracking number, and it'll be sent to you right away.
And I'll make sure that when this video posts, it'll have all the contact information. This will not be our last podcast.
No way.
We're going to beef it up. Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're going to beef it up. We're going to educate people, get people away from those myths and stigmas so that they can live. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. For tonight, man. I can't wait to start working on the trailers and stuff tomorrow because this bad boy is popping out on this coming Sunday. I'm super excited about how just knowing how you're changing the world because we need more of that in our community. Because when I started looking at it, all I saw was everybody else's community. And I, jumped out there and was like, hey, y'all, send me some people that you can recommend. So thank you for the work that you've been doing for so many years. I truly am appreciative of it. And I cannot wait. Listen, y'all, go out there to Authentically Peculiar with Marcia. I did change the Facebook page to that. So you can see all of the podcasts there, but you can still see it on YouTube. You can still see it on Spotify and Amazon and Apple. I'm excited, Belize. Again, thank you so very much, man. You have made my night. I'm telling you.
Listen, it was a good night.
It was a good night. It was a good night. And we told the devil to go to hell about trying to mess with it.
He was playing with us. Now it's Clearest Day.
All in our
Clearest Day. He was playing. But he ain't want somebody to hear it. You're going to be set free today.
Listen. So y'all grab hold, pass it, share it, comment, hit up Belize on all social media outlets. She's there. She will respond back to you because I'm telling you, their next response back is like this.
Yeah.
Don't be ashamed to reach out. Get out of that place of shame. This isn't a scarlet letter like back in the day when they put the big red S on you. You literally can live with HSV and have a very productive and happy life. Don't limit yourself. Y'all got this. Thanks again. We'll catch you on the next episode. And we're out of here for tonight.